Welcome to the Arizona Wildcat Show, brought to you by Fry's Food Stores. I'm Star Sports Editor Ryan Finley here with Daniel Burke. Daniel, Arizona's defense heading into 2015 has a couple names that pretty much everybody knows. I mean, Scooby Wright won every award he could last year. You look at Will Parks, another guy who I think gets on SportsCenter more because of what he says than how he plays, but he's a guy you've heard of. It. Outside of a couple of those kind of household name guys, there are some real question marks, and you saw some reason for concern in their first practice Wednesday night.
Well, the position group that stood out to me on defense for maybe some concern will be the cornerbacks. And again, I mean, we talked in a previous video about David Richards and Caleb Jones, and I mean, the receivers are loaded. So it may just be that the UA's receivers are really good and they're going to make the corners look bad. But I think there's some concern there. You know, they lost John McKnight, who was never an all-conference player or anything like that, but he was very reliable and coaches trusted him. You know, obviously 2 years ago they had Shaq Richardson. So they're kind of in a weird spot now where, you know, you have Jarvis McCall, who started and played last year but wasn't dominant. Cam Denson, who showed flashes. Devontae Neal, who's now moved to corner. They brought in a JUCO kid, Dane Cruikshank, who just got here, wasn't here in the spring.
Easy for you to say.
Yeah. So, I mean, they have bodies. They don't have a ton of speed.
Right.
And I think at cornerback in the Pac-12, you need to have speed. That was never Denson's strong suit at South Point. Right. So you just worry about the overall speed there and depth and strength. You know, are those guys built enough to last the whole year?
Absolutely. But if there is something that a lot of these guys have going for them, though, they're young. Is that physically they kind of look the part and they're young. You would think that there would be improvement year over year.
No question. There's definitely room to get better. And I think going up against Caleb Jones, David Richards, Samaje Grant, Nate Phillips, Trey Griffey, all those guys over the next 4 weeks help your development even more.
Absolutely. You know, a group, Daniel, that doesn't necessarily pass the eye test, but I think has overperformed over the last couple of years is the defensive line. Take me through kind of, you know, who are going to be the guys this year.
Yeah, you know, you have Reggie Gilbert at defensive end, who I was joking with. Glenn.
He's older than you.
Yeah, you know, Glenn Howell joked yesterday that he played with Reggie Gilbert, that they were teammates. So you have old man Reggie at one side, and then, Parker Zellers it was getting the bulk of the reps inside. And again, he's not the guy that looks the part, but he's proven, you know, he gets it done. And then the other defensive end spot is really up for grabs. Anthony Fotu was a JC guy that came in the spring. Timmy Hamilton's a JC guy that's here now. Jeff Worthy is still a guy that's around that could play a lot of downs. Calvin Allen. I mean, they have guys. So, but again, there's just not a ton of experience. There's not a ton of size there. So I think there's some question marks outside of Reggie.
How about my boy Luca Bruno?
Yeah, Luca Bruno is a guy. I'm glad you mentioned him. You know, he ran with the ones yesterday. 2 years ago when he was a true freshman, they desperately wanted to play him. It didn't work out because of an NCAA clearinghouse issue. And then last year he kind of, apparently he lost a bunch of weight in the offseason. They didn't want him to lose weight. They wanted him to put on weight. I know, such an issue that we all have.
We all have, big time. Yeah.
So then kind of fell out of favor last year, even moved to tight end later in the year. But he's back this year, ran with the ones, looks bigger, looks stronger.
That'll do it for this episode of the Arizona Wildcat Show, brought to you by Fry's Food Stores. For Daniel Burke, I'm Ryan Finley. We'll see you next time.
Try this matchup. Low prices and faster checkout. You can count on it at Fry's.